In relationships, one of the greatest struggles is balancing love and independence. Often we give so much of ourselves to someone else that we lose sight of who we are. Dependency sneaks in, disguised as love, and before we know it, our happiness hinges on the actions and feelings of another person. But what if I told you there's a way to love deeply while staying true to yourself? A way to nurture a relationship without losing your individuality. Let's explore how Stoic philosophy teaches us to find this balance and avoid the trap of dependency in romantic relationships. Romantic relationships are among the most fulfilling aspects of life, but they can also be some of the most challenging. One of the key issues people face is dependency, relying too heavily on a partner for emotional stability, self-worth, or a sense of purpose. While love is naturally intertwined with care and connection, dependency often tips the scale toward unhealthy attachment. This can lead to resentment, insecurity, and a loss of individuality. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in cultivating inner strength and resilience, offers a powerful lens through which to view relationships. The Stoics teach that our well-being should stem from within, not from external sources. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength in the context of love. This means we should cherish our partners while recognizing that they do not define us." Dependency in relationships often arises from the fear of loss or rejection. We may cling to our partners out of a desire to feel complete or secure, forgetting that true security lies within our ability to navigate life's challenges independently. Stoicism reminds us that while love is a beautiful part of life, it should not be the sole anchor of our happiness. In this discussion, we'll explore practical Stoic principles to build healthier, more balanced relationships. These principles include focusing on self-awareness, fostering mutual respect, and practicing gratitude without possession. The goal isn't to detach from love, but to redefine it, to move from dependence to interdependence. This creates a space where love thrives without overshadowing individuality. By applying Stoic wisdom, you can nurture relationships where love flourishes alongside independence. This journey is not about distancing yourself from others, but about strengthening your relationship with yourself, allowing you to give and receive love in its truest, most liberated form. Let's dive deeper into how Stoicism can guide us toward this balanced path. Dependency in romantic relationships can be subtle and difficult to recognize because it often hides behind the guise of love, care, or commitment. At its core, dependency occurs when one partner relies excessively on the other for emotional support, self-worth, or a sense of identity. While emotional closeness is natural and healthy in love, dependency creates an imbalance where the needs or validation from the partner become the primary source of happiness or security. This dynamic can lead to problems such as loss of individuality, where one partner sacrifices their hobbies, ambitions, or even values to keep the relationship intact. It can also foster feelings of insecurity, as the dependent person may constantly fear losing their partner or worry they are not enough to sustain the relationship. For the partner on the receiving end, the weight of carrying someone else's emotional needs can become overwhelming, leading to frustration or even resentment. Stoicism offers a useful perspective to redefine this concept. The Stoics teach that our well-being should not depend on external factors, including another person, no matter how much we care for them. Marcus Aurelius famously emphasized focusing on what lies within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, rather than external circumstances. Applied to relationships, this means finding a balance where love is celebrated but not leaned on as the sole source of fulfillment. Dependency is not just about needing a partner, it's about needing them in a way that undermines your own sense of self. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual support and shared experiences, but it is strongest when both individuals maintain their own identities. Recognizing the signs of dependency is the first step in building a partnership grounded in mutual respect and inner strength, rather than fear or over-reliance. Stoicism, at its core, teaches us to approach relationships with a sense of balance and emotional resilience. While the Stoics valued meaningful connections with others, they also cautioned against becoming overly attached or dependent, emphasizing that true happiness and peace come from within. One key aspect of Stoic philosophy is the dichotomy of control. According to thinkers like Epictetus, we must distinguish between what we can control, our thoughts, actions and responses, and what we cannot, such as the emotions, actions or affections of others. In relationships, this means accepting that while we can give love and support, we cannot force someone else to reciprocate or act in a particular way. This perspective encourages us to love deeply yet wisely, free from unrealistic expectations. Another Stoic principle, often highlighted by Marcus Aurelius, is the idea of impermanence. Everything in life, including relationships, is subject to change. A Stoic embraces this reality, understanding that clinging to someone or something out of fear of loss only leads to suffering. Instead, the Stoic cherishes the present moment, appreciating the value of a relationship without letting it dominate their sense of identity or happiness. Stoicism also promotes self-sufficiency. Seneca, for example, argued that a wise person should cultivate inner resources such as resilience, self-awareness, and purpose to avoid placing their emotional well-being entirely in another's hands. In relationships, this translates to maintaining individuality, pursuing personal growth, and finding joy beyond the partnership. Ultimately, the Stoic perspective on relationships is one of balance. It encourages us to love others with sincerity while recognizing that our inner peace should never hinge entirely on someone else's presence or approval. Relationships are seen not as a source of completion, but as opportunities for mutual growth, where both individuals support each other without sacrificing their own integrity or independence. Signs of dependency in relationships. Over-reliance on partner for emotional stability. Over-reliance on a partner for emotional stability can manifest as a constant need for reassurance, validation, or comfort. This dependency places immense responsibility on the partner as they become the sole source of emotional support and balance. For example, the dependent individual may feel paralyzed or lost when their partner is unavailable, creating a cycle of anxiety and neediness. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner emotional resilience by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts and responses. By building self-reliance, individuals can approach relationships with emotional balance, contributing positively rather than draining their partner's energy. Loss of personal identity. In dependent relationships, people often suppress or abandon their interests, hobbies, or opinions to align with their partner's preferences. Over time, this loss of individuality erodes self-esteem and creates a sense of emptiness. For example, someone might stop pursuing their career aspirations or avoid socializing with friends to prioritize their partner's needs. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of knowing oneself and living in harmony with one's values. A strong personal identity ensures that relationships are built on mutual respect and not on sacrificing one's uniqueness to maintain connection. Fear of conflict or disagreement. Dependency often leads to avoiding conflicts out of fear that disagreements might threaten the relationship. This can result in passive behavior, unspoken resentment, and unmet needs. For instance, a dependent partner may agree to decisions they dislike or suppress their opinions to keep the peace. Stoicism advocates for addressing issues with courage and reason. By practicing assertive yet respectful communication, individuals can strengthen their bonds while staying true to themselves. Healthy conflict resolution is a hallmark of strong, enduring relationships. Excessive need for reassurance. An excessive need for reassurance can make a relationship feel suffocating. Dependency often manifests as constant questioning or a desire for repeated affirmations of love and commitment. This behavior places strain on the partner, who might feel pressured to provide endless emotional support. Stoics remind us to find strength within ourselves by understanding that external validation is fleeting. Building self-confidence and recognizing one's inherent value are key to reducing this dependence, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling relationship dynamic. Inability to function alone. The inability to function alone creates an imbalance in relationships where one partner feels burdened by the other's reliance. This can include difficulties with decision-making, managing personal challenges, or even enjoying time apart. For example, a dependent individual might avoid socializing without their partner or struggle with tasks like budgeting or planning. Stoicism emphasizes self-sufficiency and the pursuit of personal excellence. By learning to thrive independently, individuals can bring strength and stability to their relationships, ensuring that love is a choice rather than a necessity born of fear. Self-sufficiency, as emphasized in Stoic philosophy, is not about isolation but about nurturing one's inner strength and autonomy. It involves recognizing that your well-being and happiness are not dependent on others or external circumstances. In romantic relationships, this principle plays a crucial role in avoiding dependency. Dependency often arises when one partner relies too heavily on the other for emotional fulfillment, validation, or a sense of purpose. This can lead to an unhealthy dynamic where the relationship becomes a source of tension rather than mutual growth and support. Stoics advocate for focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and emotions, while recognizing that external factors, including the behavior or approval of others, are beyond our influence. As Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. This idea reinforces the notion that we can control how we respond to our circumstances and emotions, but we cannot control the actions or attitudes of others. By cultivating a strong internal foundation, individuals can navigate relationships without the need for constant validation or reassurance from their partner. In a romantic context, self-sufficiency means that each partner continues to pursue personal goals, maintain individual hobbies, and focus on their own growth. This helps to build a sense of identity outside of the relationship. When two people come together as emotionally secure, self-sufficient individuals, they can contribute to the relationship without the burden of dependency. Each partner brings their whole self into the relationship rather than seeking to complete each other or fulfill unmet emotional needs. Self-sufficiency also fosters healthier boundaries. It allows each partner to express their needs and desires without feeling pressured to mold themselves to the other's expectations. When individuals are self-sufficient, they are not driven by fear of abandonment or the need for approval, which can often lead to manipulation or unhealthy attachments. Instead, they engage in the relationship with a sense of freedom, offering love and care out of genuine desire, not obligation or neediness. The Stoic practice of cultivating self-sufficiency is also about finding contentment within ourselves, independent of external validation. This principle allows us to approach relationships with a clearer perspective, knowing that while relationships are important, our sense of self-worth and emotional stability does not depend on them. By embracing self-sufficiency, individuals create space for more genuine, balanced relationships built on mutual respect, shared values, and emotional independence. To avoid dependency in romantic relationships and cultivate a healthier dynamic, it's important to take intentional steps that align with Stoic philosophy. The Stoics emphasize self-control, emotional resilience, and personal growth, principles that can be directly applied to the context of relationships. Here are practical steps you can take to avoid dependency while fostering a balanced and thriving romantic relationship. Focus on self-improvement. Start by focusing on your personal growth. Just as Stoics believe that cultivating virtue is a lifelong process, individuals in a relationship should constantly strive for improvement. This involves setting personal goals, whether for mental, physical, or emotional growth, and working toward them independently. Marcus Aurelius in his meditations often spoke about the importance of self-reflection, urging individuals to focus on becoming the best version of themselves. In a romantic relationship, this means having your own passions and aspirations that are separate from your partner. You should strive for your own achievements and not look to your partner to complete you. By focusing on self-improvement, you create an identity outside the relationship that is fulfilling in its own right. Cultivate emotional resilience. One of the core Stoic principles is emotional resilience, or the ability to remain unaffected by external circumstances. According to Epictetus, we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. In a romantic relationship, this means learning to control your emotional reactions to situations rather than relying on your partner to provide constant emotional validation. When you develop emotional resilience, you're better equipped to handle the challenges that come up in any relationship without overreacting or feeling dependent on your partner to fix your emotions. Emotional resilience is built through mindfulness, self-awareness, and regular practices such as journaling or meditation. These tools allow you to reflect on your emotions without getting lost in them, which helps avoid becoming overly dependent on your partner for emotional support. Practice independence in small ways. To break free from dependency, it's essential to practice small acts of independence regularly. This could mean taking time for yourself, pursuing individual hobbies, or simply having time apart. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote about the importance of solitude, stating that we must learn to be alone and find joy in our own company. This practice allows you to create space for your own thoughts and feelings without relying on your partner for constant companionship. Small steps towards independence, like attending events alone or making decisions without consulting your partner for validation, can help you realize that your happiness doesn't depend on their presence or approval. Over time, these small acts of independence build a strong sense of self-sufficiency, which helps avoid dependency in the long run. Set healthy boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries is a key step in maintaining a balanced relationship. In Stoic terms, boundaries represent the recognition of what is within your control and what is not. Seneca advised that we should not allow another's mistakes to become our own. By clearly communicating your needs and desires and respecting your partners, you create an environment where both individuals can thrive without feeling responsible for each other's emotional well-being. Healthy boundaries also involve knowing when to say no. It's easy to become overly attached to someone if you're constantly saying yes to everything they ask or need. Instead, practice saying no when it's necessary to protect your own emotional health, personal time, or priorities. Engage in reflection and self-awareness. Stoicism encourages self-awareness and constant reflection on our actions and emotions. A powerful way to avoid dependency is by engaging in daily self-reflection. Ask yourself questions like, am I relying too much on my partner for validation? Or do I have a strong sense of identity outside of this relationship? By being honest with yourself, you can identify any signs of emotional dependence before they take root. Journaling is an excellent way to practice this kind of self-reflection. Writing down your thoughts about the relationship and your emotions helps clarify your thoughts and provides insight into any patterns of dependency. If you notice tendencies towards dependency, take immediate action by practicing the other steps listed here. Develop your own social support system. Another practical step to avoid dependency is to build a strong support system outside of the relationship. Stoic philosophers understood the importance of community and support from friends and family. Marcus Aurelius, despite his position as emperor, found solace in the counsel of others who could offer perspective and guidance. Relying on a broader network of support outside your romantic relationship helps to prevent emotional over-reliance on your partner. This doesn't mean neglecting the relationship, but rather ensuring that you are not isolating yourself and depending entirely on your partner for all your social and emotional needs. Cultivate friendships and maintain strong connections with others, allowing you to feel emotionally fulfilled without overburdening your partner. Embrace mutual respect, not control. In Stoic relationships, respect for the autonomy of the other person is vital. Relationships should not be about control or manipulation, but about mutual support and understanding. Both partners should feel free to express their needs, desires, and individual goals. According to Epictetus, we should aim to respect the will of others as we respect our own, which reinforces the idea of mutual autonomy in any relationship. If either partner begins to feel controlled or manipulated, dependency can quickly set in. It's important to address any feelings of control, whether emotional or physical, in a calm and rational way. Having open, honest conversations about respect and personal space helps prevent dependency and encourages a healthy dynamic where both partners maintain their independence. Let go of expectations. Finally, let go of unrealistic expectations. Stoicism teaches us to accept life as it comes without demanding that things meet our specific desires. In a relationship, dependency can often arise from unmet expectations, expecting your partner to always make you happy or to behave in a way that aligns with your needs. By letting go of these rigid expectations, you allow space for the relationship to evolve naturally without imposing pressure or dependency on your partner. Understand that they are their own person with their own needs and limitations, just as you are. Acceptance and understanding rather than expectation create a space for a healthier, more balanced relationship. By incorporating these Stoic practices into your daily life, you can avoid emotional dependency in romantic relationships and create an environment where both partners grow individually while nurturing the relationship. The ultimate goal is to build a relationship based on mutual respect, autonomy, and emotional strength, one where both individuals bring their whole selves to the relationship without relying on each other to fulfill unmet emotional needs. Real-life examples of avoiding dependency in romantic relationships. Marcus Aurelius and his personal strength. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, was deeply committed to Stoic principles. He often faced challenges and difficult personal circumstances, but maintained a strong sense of self-sufficiency. His relationship with his wife Faustina, though complex, reflected mutual respect and understanding. While they faced political pressures and personal struggles, Marcus Aurelius did not rely on her for emotional validation. Instead, he focused on personal growth and Stoic teachings. His ability to remain grounded, even when faced with immense responsibilities, exemplifies how Stoic philosophy can help maintain emotional independence in relationships. Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham. Oprah Winfrey's relationship with Stedman Graham is another example of avoiding dependency. Despite being in a long-term partnership, Oprah has always emphasized the importance of independence and self-sufficiency. Both Oprah and Stedman have their own careers, personal goals, and passions. Oprah, in particular, often speaks about her need for personal space and time for self-reflection, which has helped her avoid becoming overly reliant on her partner. Their relationship is based on mutual respect, where both individuals maintain their autonomy while supporting one another. Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Henry Brewster Stanton. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, a leading figure in the women's suffrage movement, and her husband Henry Brewster Stanton had a relationship built on mutual respect, but also a significant amount of independence. While Henry supported Elizabeth's efforts, Elizabeth was determined to chart her own path and make a difference in society, often without relying on her husband for validation. Her pursuit of personal and professional independence, while maintaining a supportive marriage, shows how one can avoid dependency even in close romantic partnerships. Eleanor Roosevelt and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt's relationship with her husband, President Franklin D. Roosevelt was marked by a deep sense of personal autonomy. Though they were married, Eleanor maintained her own career as a political activist, diplomat, and writer. She didn't rely on her husband for validation, but instead built her own legacy. Eleanor's work on human rights, her writings, and her advocacy for social justice were all a product of her own passion and vision. Despite facing personal challenges, including her husband's infidelity, Eleanor did not let these challenges dictate her sense of self-worth, showcasing a Stoic approach to maintaining independence. Jane Austen's independence. Jane Austen's romantic life is often viewed through the lens of her independence and how she avoided dependency in her personal relationships. Austen, despite writing about love and relationships, remained unmarried throughout her life. Her independence allowed her to focus on her writing and intellectual pursuits without becoming emotionally dependent on a partner. Austen's relationship with her family, especially her father and brother, was supportive, but she was not reliant on them for emotional fulfillment. Her ability to maintain her independence reflects Stoic values in a personal context. These real-life examples show that regardless of the time period, relationship status, or societal pressures, maintaining emotional independence is possible with self-awareness, personal growth, and respect for one's own goals and values. The Stoic principles of focusing on virtue, emotional resilience, and self-sufficiency are timeless strategies that can help prevent dependency in romantic relationships, fostering healthier and more balanced connections. Benefits of avoiding dependency in romantic relationships. Avoiding dependency in romantic relationships brings several profound benefits, both personally and within the relationship itself. First, it fosters emotional resilience. When you rely on yourself for emotional strength, you're better equipped to handle challenges and setbacks without feeling overwhelmed or lost. This aligns with Stoic teachings, where we focus on what we can control, our own emotions and responses, rather than external circumstances or people. Another significant benefit is the preservation of individuality. Maintaining independence allows both partners to grow individually. This self-sufficiency leads to healthier dynamics, where both partners can pursue their own goals, passions, and interests, while still nurturing their connection. This leads to a stronger and more balanced partnership, as both individuals bring their own experiences, energy, and fulfillment to the relationship, rather than relying on the other to fill emotional gaps. Lastly, avoiding dependency fosters greater respect and equality. In relationships marked by interdependence rather than dependency, both individuals are more likely to support each other's growth, rather than feeling burdened by the other's needs. This creates a partnership based on mutual respect, where both people contribute to each other's happiness without the need for control or excessive reliance. By embracing Stoic practices of self-sufficiency and resilience, we can avoid unhealthy dependencies and build relationships that are both fulfilling and sustainable. If you found this exploration of Stoic wisdom helpful, let us know by liking this video. Join us on this journey of self-improvement and philosophical insights by subscribing to the Stoic Belief. Hit the bell icon to stay connected with our latest uploads. Your support helps us bring more meaningful content to you. Thank you for being a part of this community.